Esther, we're getting a divorce.
What?
You went back to your mom and dad's place after getting discharged from the hospital. They have ramps and all that crap, so it's wheelchair friendly, right? There's no sense to you coming back to me. I just terminated the contract on the apartment, so it ain't like there's anywhere for you to come back to anyway.
Barry, what the hell? Just slow down a minute. The only reason I came back to live with my folks is because our apartment isn't wheelchair friendly. It was only supposed to be a temporary arrangement. Wasn't the plan to find a new wheelchair friendly place to move in together?
Maybe it was at one point, but you know what? That sounds like a real pain in the ass.
What?
Listen, babe, I'm real grateful for you jumping in to save me like that. I would have been in major trouble if not for you. Who knows, I could have even died. It sucks that you ended up in a wheelchair after falling down the stairs. But you know what, Sugar Dumpling? That's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. Thing is, Sweetie Pie, all this time alone, I've been doing some thinking. The fact that your mom and dad's place is wheelchair friendly must mean you had some close friend or relative in a wheelchair living there before.
Yes, my grandma. Apparently they had some improvements made on the house to make her life there as smooth and stress-free as possible.
Basically, your family home, where they have experience looking after cripples, is a far more suitable care environment than anything I could possibly provide. Think about it. You know I'm right.
Oh my god.
As soon as I realized that, it dawned on me just how pointless our relationship is. You're dead weight, and divorce is the only answer.
How could you do this? You make it sound like you don't even care about me. I'm in a difficult enough place mentally as it is, Barry. I'm in a wheelchair for crying out loud. Did you really have to do this now of all times? Oh my god, my world is falling apart.
Oh yeah, that too!
Huh?
Ever since you got put in a wheelchair, you've been giving off this miserable, depressing aura. Like you're constantly begging for sympathy. And I gotta tell you, babe, it's been hard on me.
What the? How could you say this?
In any case, I ain't got no interest in continuing married life with a depressing, crippled loser like you. That's why we're getting a divorce. I'll mail the divorce papers to your folks' place. Make sure you get them signed and handed in ASAP. Your folks are gonna have to push you there, obviously. See ya! Hey, Esther, it's been a while.
Huh? Is that Barry?
Can you believe it's been a whole 3 years? Time sure flies when you're having fun, huh?
What do you want?
I'm messaging you because there's something I wanted to tell you.
What?
I'm getting remarried!
That's great. Congratulations.
Haha, thanks, babe.
Was that all you wanted to tell me?
Huh?
Surely it would be kind of weird if the only reason you wanted to message your ex-wife after 3 years was to tell her you're getting remarried. Surely that wasn't the only thing? To be honest, I think I forgot to block you because I was dead certain you'd never message me again. After all, why would you? I didn't see this one coming. If that was all you wanted to tell me, let's leave it there. I'd appreciate it if you didn't contact me again.
Aha! I knew it! I knew messaging you was the right thing to do.
What? Why?
It's as plain as day. You still have feelings for me, don't you, babe?
Excuse me?
You know how when you tell a kid not to push a button, they always end up pushing it? It was reverse psychology. You thought by telling me not to contact you, I'd get in touch with you again someday, and you'd have another shot at the prize. Me. I can read you like a book.
I'd appreciate it if you stopped playing games and acting so strange. We're done. Barry, and that's final. Now please, stop messaging me. Just leave me alone. You're really annoying.
One more thing. My fiance is the daughter of the CEO of a major company. I take a huge sigh of relief every time I remember how I never would have found myself such a good woman if we didn't divorce. Whew, talking about dodging a bullet. Can you imagine? Me, forced to be permanent live-in carer to some whiny cripple for the rest of my life? I made the right decision.
Wow.
Aha! There it is! The jealousy rears its ugly head. Ha ha ha! I guess no one can blame you. I'm a rugged, fine specimen of a man who can have any woman he wants. And you're in a wheelchair.
Is this the real reason you messaged me?
Huh?
Did you just want to mock and ridicule me for being in a wheelchair? To gloat about how much better you think you are than me? About how much better you think your life is than mine?
Ha ha! I guess it can't be helped. It is the truth after all.
I'd appreciate it if you kept your malicious, spiteful judgments about what you think my life must be like to yourself.
Aw, is someone a little mad? Does baby want her dummy?
I suggest you be careful about what you say.
What? Is that a threat? I'm quaking in my boots here, honest.
It'd be an awful shame if you said the wrong thing and forced me to take revenge on you when you least expected it.
Whatever, you jealous loser. Oh yeah, that reminds me. I'll invite you to the wedding. It could be good for you. Think about it. If you see how blissfully happy me and my new wife are together with your own eyes, it might help you finally let go of your feelings for me.
Feelings for you? I honestly could not care less about you.
Great, that settles it then. I'll send the invite out to your folks' place.
I don't want one, and I'm not going. Truthfully, I'd rather stick pins in my eyes.
I know how stubborn you are, so I know you'll probably reply not attending, despite wanting to come more than anything. But I'm preparing some space for your wheelchair, so you better show up.
I said I'm not going.
Hey, Esther! I knew it! You were so adamant you weren't gonna come, but I knew it was all an act. You actually came, didn't you? Priceless! I saw a woman in a wheelchair making her way towards the wedding hall from the waiting room window. I knew it! Your feelings for me are unshakable, and you came in spite of your protest. You can't run from love, babe! Or roll in your case. Problem is, I filled the space I had ready for you, cause you sent the invite back saying you weren't attending. They don't even make movies this entertaining. Sorry, sweet cheeks, but I can hardly let you in without a confirmed invite. My hands were tied. I knew I did the right thing by warning my buddy on reception. I said, hey, Timmy, if some bimbo in a wheelchair shows up, you make sure you turn her away immediately. You got that, Val? Why? Because she's my ex-wife. He messaged me just now saying he sent you packing the moment you showed up. He said the look in your face was priceless. Enjoy the journey home. I hope you brought someone to push you.
Barry, I'm sorry, but I'm completely lost. What are you talking about?
Crippled! Go home! Go home, go home, go home! Crippled! Go home! Go home, go home, go home! G-O-H-O-M-E!
But I never came in the first place?
Huh?
As you well know, I sent the invite back with the not attending box very clearly ticked. As I told you before, I had no intention of going, and I didn't. So what the hell are you talking about?
Huh? But in that case, who was the one I saw from the waiting room window?
Obviously, it wasn't me.
Wait, what? Seriously? How in the heck in the baby Lord Jesus' name was I supposed to know, you stinky bimbo?
Wow, where did that come from all of a sudden?
The woman in the wheelchair I kicked out of the wedding after mistaking her for you yesterday was actually my wife's childhood friend. My wife flipped out at me big time for giving her the boot. Apparently they were real close, like sisters. I've never seen her this mad. She's threatening to divorce me, you goddamn evil witch! This is all your fault for being in that godforsaken wheelchair! How dare you!
This is my fault? Amazing! You literally have zero ability to self-reflect, do you? So this must mean your wife's childhood friend was one of the invites she sent out. Which also means the necessary arrangements to accommodate a guest in a wheelchair would have been taken by the organizers of the ceremony. Surely there's no way the groom wouldn't have been made aware of something like this at his own wedding. Or maybe you were, and you just weren't listening. Which was it?
Well,
Or maybe you were listening, but you forgot?
Actually,
If by any chance were you leaving all of the wedding arrangements to your wife, you were taking on your fair share of the responsibility, weren't you, Barry?
well,
Let's face it, you always were the kind of guy to come up with nonsensical excuses every time you deemed something to be a pain in the ass. Even if the thing you were escaping from was very clearly something you should have been taking responsibility for. That's always the kind of guy you were, wasn't it, Barry?
The heck are you talking about? You make me sick, woman. Look at you! So what? So I made one teensy-weensy, teeny-weeny little mistake. I'm human, aren't I? Get off your high horse, you self-racist witch! This just proves you still have feelings for me! It gets more obvious with each message.
Keep dreaming.
Maybe try learning to walk again, cripple. Who knows? You might even be able to get remarried like me!
Huh? Oh, right. I see. You don't know anything about my situation these days, do you?
What else is there to know? You're a friendless, single, shut-in hermit cripple who lives with her elderly parents and relies on them 24/7 to care for her. I don't need to ask to know that.
I gave the rehab everything I had after the divorce and made huge improvements. Doctors tell me I'm well and truly on the road to recovery.
Huh?
They also tell me that if I carry on working hard, there's a good chance I'll be able to walk normally again one day, as if the accident never happened.
Wait, what? Seriously?
This isn't exactly new though, is it? They've been saying this since the beginning.
What? They have?
Looks like my suspicions were right. You divorced me without even properly listening to what the doctors had to say, didn't you?
I did? Oh man.
Oh, by the way, your new wife asked me to pass on this message.
Huh?
You're despicable. I want a divorce, now.
Wait, what? What? What the heck? How is she speaking to you?
She just showed up at my house because she wanted to ask me some questions.
Uh-oh.
She was pretty curious about the background behind her divorce, and of course, I, being super friendly and sociable, told her everything. She was absolutely furious about how you treated her childhood friend yesterday. She said she suddenly felt like she no longer knew you. She's on her way to you with the divorce papers now. Apparently, she never wants to see you again after you sign them.
Sup, honey cheeks? I kept you waiting a long time, huh? You can finally remarry me now!
Excuse me?
Don't worry. It won't count as cheating or infidelity or anything like that. I'm newly divorced now, so there's nothing stopping us. I'm single and ready to mingle.
There's nothing stopping us from doing what exactly?
I might be a two-time divorcee, but I'm pretty sure that technically goes back down to one with me and you getting remarried. What's more, now that I know you're not going to be a wheelchair anymore, it'll be just like before. You'll be a normal person again. However, there is just one small condition. My bitch ex-wife is demanding ungodly amounts of compensation and saying I owe her all the money she put into planning the wedding. The total comes to just shy of 40K. As long as you pay off that for me, you can have me back. Your family are filthy rich, so it shouldn't be a problem, right? Just give old Pops a call, and this'll be settled in a jiffy. I'll be heading over to your folks' place tomorrow, so make sure you have the marriage registration stuff dealt with before I arrive, okay, sweet cheeks?
Would you mind slowing down for a sec? There's something you should know.
What is it?
I already got remarried.
Huh?
I fell in love with the physio who oversaw my rehab at the hospital. He's such an amazing man. He was there for me when I was at my lowest, when my head was all over the place after being so cruelly and heartlessly tossed aside, like some piece of trash when you realized I was in a wheelchair.
You married the physio? Oh, this is the first I've heard of it!
Is there a reason I need to give detailed reports on my private life to my ex-husband?
But I gave you reports on my private life!
I don't remember there being any kind of rule saying I have to do that.
Wait, does this mean you won't marry me? Ugh! It's gonna be a lot harder trying to find a new wife as a two-time divorcee, you know! Have you even thought about how this is gonna affect me?
I'm praying that one day you'll have an epiphany and realize that this was entirely your fault. But something tells me I'll be praying for a long time.
What?
It'd be a miracle if you found an oddball crazy enough to marry a cruel, selfish, heartless, mean-spirited, good-for-nothing loser like you.
What? That's just uncalled for!
Never contact me again. Goodbye. Later on, I found out the real reason my ex-husband went out of his way to tell me he was getting remarried was that, apparently, at the time of the divorce, his friends and family found out he was ending things because the thought of caring for his then-crippled wife was too much for a nuisance. Unable to cope with his newfound reputation as a total scumbag, he hatched a plan to heal his damaged reputation. The idea was to goad me into causing a scene at his wedding by provoking me into a jealous rage so he could paint me as some kind of deranged psycho, whom he had no choice but to divorce. I really am tired of him. Talk about dodging a bullet. Amazingly, his parents were nothing like him, and me and them had always gotten along, so a few days later, I decided to tell them everything. They immediately hung their heads in shame and apologized profusely. His mom said, as if the shenanigans at the wedding weren't bad enough, "My goodness, Esther, we're so sorry." They vowed to keep a watchful eye on him to ensure he could never hurt anyone again. Last I heard, he was being forced to work to exhaustion to pay off his debts by his ex-military dad.